My first NASPA conference was in 1977 when I went job hunting. So we're coming up on 40 years, and for me, it's been a place where I have been able to keep abreast of issues as they develop across those 40 years, and also to really dig into issues with colleagues who are very thoughtful and who represent a variety of perspectives. When I started in the profession, we were worried about homesickness and just social adjustments. And since then, the work has gotten much more complex. We now worry about threat assessments, and we worry about preparing for terrorist attacks, and we worry about compliance with federal regulations. So it's a much more complex role than the one I started. I think the two that have been most rewarding are two of my most recent roles. I currently serve as the Public Policy Director, and that has given me the opportunity to really stay abreast of the many issues that come out of both state and federal government that affect colleges and universities. The other role that I played recently was I was the founding director of NASPA's AVP Institute. This is an institute for people who serve in the number 2 role throughout their student affairs divisions to come together to hone their professional practice. As founding director, I was able to pick my team and assemble from a blank piece of paper the curriculum for that. And I was able to do that role for 2 years, and that was very meaningful. I was really honored to be asked to do that. I was vetted by the legislative director at the American Council on Education, and then by the staffer for the House subcommittee that I testified before. And NASPA really helped me with preparation. I had 5 days notice, so it was a quick learning curve. But of course, my work has prepared me to speak passionately about those issues. So I was terrified. It was the most scary thing I've done since my dissertation defense. But when it was over, I felt brave, and I'm glad I did it. The things that I worry about most and try to make sure that we're best prepared to handle are the individual issues of student well-being. Students today are more stressed and anxious than ever before, and issues of substance abuse and issues of sort of toxic stress and anxiety can really prevent students from flourishing in college. And so those very individual issues are our highest priority. Next to that is probably the larger issue of campus climate, how we are able to be welcoming and inclusive of all voices and make sure that every student has the support that they need to thrive. I'm very excited with our Campus Thrive initiative. Thrive is really a very public celebration of all that goes into human flourishing. And across 8 dimensions of well-being, we have really fun activities that pull students in. And we also then back that up with real professional know-how that helps students assess their high-risk behavior or their thought patterns that are preventing them from really succeeding. And that is really a fun initiative, and one that feels like we're not just plugging a hole in the dike, but we're trying to get out in front of those issues to give students the tools that they need to really manage the inevitable stresses of life and create real resilience. Today's Wake Forest is a more diverse institution than ever before. And with that diversity comes a wonderful array of perspectives and ways of thinking and cultures, but our students aren't always ready for that kind of diversity. So starting with orientation and moving through our first year experience class and into our ongoing orientation programs, we help students think about the ways in which their own culture affects their values. Then we give students the curiosity to relate to those that are different from them, college should be about the opportunity to come together and learn from and across and with human differences. One of the wonderful things about having a group of trusted professionals to reach out to is that as unique as every institution is, we face really common problems. And so when one of us has an issue that perhaps makes national news, really puts a spotlight, we have colleagues we can turn to who have faced that situation before. We can learn from each other, and we can gain even emotional support to weather those really difficult challenges.